Got everything here. Are we on? I'd like to call this meeting to order. I'd like to call this meeting to order for the December 27th. This is a special meeting of the Santa Cruz County Board of Supervisors. Can we please have roll call?
Certainly. Supervisor Friend?
Here.
McPherson?
Here.
And Hernandez?
Here.
With Supervisors Koenig and Cummings absent.
I'd like to ask anyone if they'd like to, any member of the board, if they'd like to share the moment of silence.
Actually, yes, I would like to dedicate the moment of silence to Dr. Robert Quinn, who passed away unexpectedly this last week, a remarkable local member of our community, personal friend of mine, leaves behind a beautiful family in Aptos.
Thank you. Thank you. If you'd please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to ask our CAO if there's any additions or revisions to the agenda.
Correct. There is one on agenda item number 3. There's additional materials, revised attachment B resolution, which replaces pages 8 through 14. That concludes the corrections.
Thank you. We'll now continue with the special meeting agenda. Number 3, consider adopting a resolution ratifying the proclamation of a local emergency for the December 24th coastal storm as proclaimed by the county administrative officer as the Director of Emergency Services on December 24th, 2024, and take all related actions. If we can have our Director, Dave Reed, please give the presentation.
Thank you, Chair. I'll be brief. We are recognizing this is the 4th consecutive year that we've had a special meeting to ratify a proclamation. This action helps us request state and federal assistance for the impacts to the city of Santa Cruz, our Santa Cruz Port District. We do have some damage ourselves to some coastal access points, as well as any other damages associated with the coastal storm event on the 23rd and 24th. We do not anticipate that the damages statewide will elevate to a federal disaster declaration level. However, we will be requesting SBA support for the economic impact to the businesses on the wharf and businesses inside the harbor. And we may be able to get additional SBA federal support. So we will be requesting those 2 things as part of the aftermath of this action that you'll be taking today. I'm happy to answer questions. We are still in the preliminary stages of gathering the initial damage estimates, but we anticipate those numbers to be quite significant for the Port District, obviously for the city of Santa Cruz, and to a lesser extent, the county and others. But there's a significant amount of debris that we're also coordinating with the state on to try and get a state resource mission to remove the debris from state parks, property, county park, beaches, city beaches, and private property. Happy to answer questions.
I'd like to bring it back to the board for any questions or comments. I'll start off with Supervisor.
But whatever, the initial estimates at the harbor in particular were 15 to 18 million. Is that, and what are there any other estimates for some of the damages that have been?
I know we have a port commissioner here in the audience that they may be able to have a little bit more information. The latest figure I've gotten is north of 20 million, but that I think is still preliminary. And that does not include the private property damages of, at last count, 6 to 8 boats were sunk at a minimum. Mm-hmm. And then many more were damaged.
Okay. Supervisor Friend?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just briefly, I appreciate you bringing this item forward to us. And it's a county that for the last 5 to 6 years has been in almost a permanent state of disaster repair. And as soon as we start to build out of it, something else seems to happen. So resiliency is going to be key moving forward, and obviously the patience and understanding the broader community for the time that it takes to build out of these, as well as the third thing, which is finding the financing, which will be a significant challenge moving forward for this community, especially as the numbers continue to go. But we spent some time down at the harbor and saw the damage, and it's pretty extensive, and I recognize the amount of time it's going to take. We appreciate the commitment, Toby, of you and your team for building out of it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I did have one brief question. We had the harbor and Capitola Village. Was there any other areas in the county that were damaged?
So obviously the city has damage to their wharf, and then the debris is spread out. And then what we have right now from the city of Capitola is just that they experienced debris deposited on their beaches. And then the county has a couple beach access sites in the unincorporated part that sustained some damage. So we'll be including those in the initial damage estimates to the state. But to my knowledge, the state parks did not sustain any damage, but they have a significant amount of the debris on multiple beaches up and down coast of the wharf.
Thank you. If there's any more questions, then I'll turn to the public to see if there's any public comment.
Good morning. This is Toby Goddard. I'm with the Santa Cruz Port District on the Port Commission. First of all, I want to thank your staff, your leadership for putting this together on such quick notice. We were wondering how that could happen. So thank you, Dave, for your work. And thank you for coming back to this chamber to act on this. I'm here mainly to voice the support of the entire Port Commission for the actions here before you today to ratify the proclamation that was made and to send this resolution on to the state of California and the governor for their consideration. The harbor took a terrible beating. And the question of dollars, our port director put together an initial estimate of 20 million, which is just a first order estimate based on what we have to do to get ready for the Murray Street Bridge with our FDOC. So we had a proxy for how much it costs to demo and rebuild a dock. And yes, most of the significant damage is in the North Harbor, but you mentioned debris removal and other utility and infrastructure damage occurred in the South Harbor as well. So again, thank you for your work to pull this together. And I want to support the two actions that are before you this morning. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Bob DeWitt, also on the Port Commission, newly appointed. Timing's everything. And I would just like to support Toby's comments. Thank you.
Thank you. If there's no one else in here that'd like to comment, I'd like to see if there's anyone online.
I see no speakers online, Chair.
No. Okay, so I'll bring it back to the board to entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll move the recommended actions.
We have a motion from Supervisor Friend and a second from Supervisor McPherson. Can we take a roll call out?
Supervisor McPherson, Friend,
Aye.
and Hernandez.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. And that concludes today's meeting. It will now be adjourned. Our next meeting is going to be on Tuesday, January 10th, 2025 at 9 a.m. And he has to bring it.